Today is July 2nd, but let's be honest, you felt it before the calendar told you the date. Something is different, isn't it? Not in the headlines, not in the weather, but in your bones. There's a subtle hum of static in the air, a feeling that the old rules of the game no longer apply. You might feel a strange pressure in your chest, a sudden, piercing clarity in your thoughts, or a moment of profound quiet even as the world rushes around you. This is not a figment of your imagination, this is not anxiety. It is a signal, a silent, powerful recalibration of the energy that connects you to everything. And today, July 2nd, that signal became undeniable. For those who are paying attention, the very fabric of reality feels altered. You can't put it into words, but your body knows. Your intuition recognizes it. It's not a feeling of doom or euphoria, it's a deep, sober knowing, a quiet tap on the shoulder from the universe asking, "Are you awake yet?" Here is the undiluted truth. The great shift has already occurred, but almost everyone will miss it. Why? Because we've been conditioned to look for a spectacle. We expect celestial fireworks, booming voices from the sky, a dramatic, world-altering event. But the real transformation, the one that truly matters, doesn't happen out there. The true rapture is an internal event. It's the moment you become radically present to your own energy field. It's the moment you understand that the clock is ticking, not on the world, but on your opportunity for inner evolution. You have been given a brief, precious window to consciously choose your reality. July 2nd doesn't roar for attention, it whispers with immense power. It is precise. If you found just 5 minutes of silence today, you likely felt it, a small glitch in your mental programming, a flash of truth between the noise of your thoughts. This energy shift is all it takes to completely alter your life's trajectory, but only if you have the courage to stop and acknowledge it. The world will not pause for you to get your bearings. Your obligations, your distractions, your emotional dramas, they will all continue to pull at you. But today, July 2nd, a quiet invitation has been extended. It is gentle, but it is unmistakable. You can continue to ignore it, lost in the noise, or you can pause for one single moment and ask yourself, what am I truly doing with my time, my focus, my life force? We always wait for the perfect moment to begin our inner work. But this shift didn't wait for you. It's here. The only question is, are you? Or are you still lost in the periphery? These energetic shifts don't ask for permission. They don't bow to our opinions. They operate on a deeper set of laws. And one of those laws is that nothing is permanent. This moment, this clarity, this alignment, it will fade. If you don't act on it today, you will miss the current. So what can you do? Be still. Feel the rhythm of your own breath. Watch the frantic dance of your mind without judgment. Take off the social mask you wear. Just sit in silence. You don't need hours. Begin with a single honest moment, because one moment of raw honesty with yourself is more potent than a lifetime of sophisticated pretense. The energy of July 2nd has one primary function: it reveals. It separates the real from the false with surgical precision. You've probably already seen it. The people around you are either more centered or more chaotic. Some are calm and grounded, others are unraveling at the seams. Some radiate peace, others are falling apart. This is the sign. It doesn't arrive with a trumpet blast. It simply shows you the truth of things, who you are, and what shadows you still need to face. Don't wait for another special date. Don't look for another teacher. The lesson is happening right now, in the laboratory of your own experience. If you missed it earlier, there is still time, but not much. The opening is not a giant gateway, it's a narrow passage. You must move through it with intention today. You don't need to have your whole life figured out. You don't need to understand the cosmos. You just need to become aware. Aware of your breath. Aware of your choices. Aware of the true direction your life is heading. This awareness is the seed of all transformation. The energy of July 2nd is not here to frighten you. It is here to awaken you, to bring you back to what is essential. And what is essential is not what you know, what you own, or what you can prove to the world. What is essential is your ability to hold your center in the storm, to stay grounded when the earth is shaking, to remain present when your mind is a runaway train. This isn't philosophy, this is practice, this is life. And today, July 2nd, is your training ground. If you listen, your inner guidance is already speaking. If you sit, your breath will lead you home to the present moment. If you become aware, this shift will elevate you to a new state of being. But if you continue to run, to distract, to ignore, then the signal has come and gone, and you won't realize what you missed until much later. By then, the gate will have closed. So pause. Right now, just for a second, because today is July 2nd and something is different. Something is calling, not from outside, but from deep within. Are you going to answer? Today is July 2nd, and while the world is consumed by its usual dramas, a more profound event is unfolding. Not in the heavens, but within the quiet chamber of your heart. People talk about a great rapture, as if it's a cosmic evacuation, a sudden removal from this world. But the real rapture isn't about disappearing, it's about appearing. It is the moment you begin to appear to yourself, fully and truthfully. It is the moment everything that is false within you begins to crumble and fall away. It's when you see yourself with stark clarity. No filters, no stories, no self-deception. On July 2nd, the true sign is this: something within you is being exposed. And for those with the courage to look, what is seen cannot be unseen. The rapture is not an external event, it is an internal exposure. It is a bright light being shown on the corners of your psyche you have expertly avoided for years. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to show you what you have become. This is deeply uncomfortable, because most of us have built our identities on sand, on masks, titles, possessions, accomplishments, and the approval of others. But today, July 2nd, none of that is strong enough to hide the truth. The energy is too sharp, too precise. It is a blade that cuts through illusion. It separates the authentic from the artificial. And if you are not prepared, it will feel like your world is collapsing. But in truth, only the false structures are collapsing. For July 2nd is not about global chaos, it's about a personal confrontation. When your inner walls of denial come down, you finally see the true architecture of your mind. You begin to recognize your own patterns, the way you use anger as a shield, control as a comfort, or distraction as an escape. You begin to hear your real voice, not the one conditioned by society, but the one that was always there waiting beneath the noise. This is the rapture. It is exposure without an exit. Many are still waiting for the grand show. Flashing lights, a divine announcement, a supernatural phenomenon. But the ones who are truly awake know the real show is inside. The real event is silence, because when all the external noise dies down and you are left alone with your own consciousness, your own truth, your own energy, that is when the shift happens. Today, July 2nd, you are being asked to stop running, stop performing, and stop hiding. Everything you believe you are is being put to the test, not by some external judge, but by your own awareness. The rapture is not a verdict. It is an invitation to remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. But here lies the challenge. Most will refuse this invitation because it's easier to keep the mask on. It's more comfortable to continue the performance. But ease is not truth, and truth is rarely comfortable. On July 2nd, comfort is being stripped away. In its place, you are being offered clarity. Raw, undeniable, and sobering clarity. The kind that forces you to be still. The kind that compels deep reflection. The kind that makes it impossible to pretend any longer. So ask yourself right now, who am I when nobody is watching? Who am I when my job title, my bank account, and my relationships are stripped away? Who am I underneath the pride, the fear, and the stories I tell myself? The answer to that question is the rapture. The answer is the revelation. That is what today brings. Not destruction, but revelation, and that is infinitely more powerful. You may be noticing specific things today. Heightened sensitivity, emotions surfacing for no reason, old memories bubbling up, sudden insights that change everything. This is not a coincidence. This is the exposure. This is your inner system vibrating in response to the higher frequency of July 2nd. You are being brought into alignment with your own truth. And any part of you that cannot exist in that truth will begin to tremble. Do not fight it. Observe it. Let it rise. Let it be seen. And as it does, breathe. Because your breath is the anchor that keeps you in your body while your mind lets go of what is no longer needed. If you avoid this internal reckoning, it will simply return later with greater force. But if you sit with it today, if you stay still and allow yourself to feel it without resistance, then true transformation will take root. You don't need a temple for this, you don't need a guru. All you need is honesty and the courage to face what is. Because today, July 2nd, the mirror is wiped clean, the veil between worlds is thin, and your true self is ready to be seen. The only question is, are you willing to look? We have been conditioned to fear judgment. But the energy of this day is not here to judge you, it's here to show you. And once something has been shown to you, you are faced with a choice. You can ignore it and continue sleepwalking, or you can respond to it and begin walking with your eyes wide open. The reality is, this day may not feel loud or dramatic, but its effects will be lasting, because this inner rapture doesn't happen in a single moment. It begins in a single moment and continues every single day after, for as long as you choose awareness over avoidance. July 2nd has revealed something to you. The rest is now your responsibility. Will you cover the truth back up with convenient excuses, or will you stay present with the discomfort and allow it to become your teacher? Remember, this exposure is a gift. It is the beginning of authentic freedom. Because when there is nothing left to hide, there is nothing that can control you. This is what today offers. Not an escape but an awakening. Not fear but freedom. Not an ending but a true beginning. So be still, breathe deeply, and let July 2nd be the day you finally, truly saw yourself. Today is July 2nd and the signal has been sent. The critical question is not whether the signal arrived. The real question is, did you notice? Because the hard truth is that most people didn't, and most people won't. Not because the signal is complex or hidden, but because it is quiet. It doesn't shout for your attention, it whispers. It moves with a gentle subtlety. It reveals itself only in moments of stillness. And stillness is a forgotten art. On July 2nd, the world did not stop. People woke up, grabbed their phones, scrolled through the same feeds and chased the same distractions. And while their attention was consumed by the circus outside, the profound shift inside went completely unnoticed. The greatest tragedy of our time is not that truth is hidden from us, it's that we are too distracted to see it. We want signs, but only the loud kind that flash and boom. But the real signs, the ones that catalyze true change, show up quietly, in a conscious breath, in a flicker of awareness, in an unexpected pause between thoughts. Today, July 2nd, was filled with these quiet gateways, but most people walked right past them. They didn't hear the silence because their minds were too full of noise. They didn't feel the shift because they were too busy running from themselves. You see, the reason most miss the signs is they are searching in the wrong dimension. They expect change to be delivered from the outside, a savior, a miracle, a divine decree. But life doesn't work that way. Truth doesn't shout. It only becomes visible when you are ready to see it. And being ready doesn't mean being perfect. It means being still. It means being honest. It means being willing to stop the frantic chase for just one moment and simply observe. Today, July 2nd, offered everyone that chance. But many let it slip by because most of us are addicted to movement, to noise, to reaction. We fill every empty space with something to do, something to watch, something to fix. We cannot bear to sit with ourselves. And that is precisely why the most important signs pass us by. The rapture is not an explosion, it is an exposure. It is the moment when all that is inauthentic begins to fall away. But if your entire life is built upon the inauthentic, then when the real is revealed, you panic, you resist, you run, and you miss the opportunity. On this day, July 2nd, a rare portal has opened. A moment of truth, a thinning of the veil, a shift in the energetic tide that makes it easier, just for today, to perceive what is real. But the mind must be calm to see it. And there's the problem. Most people have never trained their mind to be calm. They have not practiced silence. They have not practiced presence. So when the sign appears, they don't recognize it. It's like trying to see your reflection in a windswept lake. The image is there, but the surface is too agitated. You need still water to see clearly. You need a still mind to recognize the moment of grace. Today is not the end of the world, but it is the end of the time for pretending. On July 2nd, what is real stands out with stark clarity, and what is false becomes heavier to carry. That is why so many feel a surge of anxiety today. That is why there is a discomfort rising in many hearts. It's not because something is wrong. It's because something fake is dying, and the real is knocking on the door. But here is the key. You have to listen. You have to pause. This sign is not waiting for you to be ready. It has already arrived. Your only job is to slow down enough to receive it. If you missed it earlier, stop now. Breathe. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding? What am I terrified to see? These questions are the breadcrumbs that lead you back to the sign. Because the rapture isn't something that takes you out of the world. It's something that removes the layers of conditioning you no longer need. But if you stay lost in distraction, if you remain in a state of reaction, then you miss this window, you miss the clarity, you miss the shift. And then days, weeks will pass and you'll wonder why nothing feels right. It's because the invitation came and you weren't home. So don't wait for another July 2nd. Don't wait for a louder signal. Don't assume there will be a second chance. The universe does not repeat its most sacred messages for our convenience. It speaks once, with perfect clarity. The rest is our responsibility. Today is about awareness. It's about showing you what was already there, hidden behind the curtain of your own business. The sign has come to awaken you, not to entertain you. If you want to see it, you must be present. If you want to receive it, you must be still. Most people miss the great moments of their lives not because they are blind, but because they are busy. Don't be one of them. Use this day. July 2nd is not just a date, it's an opening, and that opening will not last forever. You still have time, but it is measured. Sit with yourself, listen without expectation. Feel what is real. That is where the sign is, that is where the truth resides. And once you see it, do not look away. Today is July 2nd, and something of immense importance is happening, something most will overlook. It's not merely a new day on the calendar, it's a fundamental shift in the operating system of reality. On the surface, things appear the same. But underneath, the very rules of existence have changed. One of the most critical changes, effective today, is the speed of karma. In the past, karma was a slow-moving force. You could act with carelessness or malice, and the consequences might not surface for years. You might never even connect the cause to the effect, but that buffer, that delay is now gone. As of July 2nd, the speed of karma has accelerated. It is now swift, direct, and almost instantaneous. What you put out is what you get back. Not in years, but in hours, sometimes even minutes. You think a thought, you feel an emotion, you perform an action, and the universe mirrors it back to you immediately. This is not punishment, it is precision. Life is not being cruel, it is being brutally honest. July 2nd brings clarity, and with that clarity comes the immediate reflection of your own energy. If you move through your day consumed by anger, dripping with judgment, or paralyzed by fear, you will watch that very energy manifest in your experience, not from some distant cosmic source, but from the people you interact with, from the frustrations of your day, from the disruption of your own inner peace. Conversely, if you move with integrity, with love, with presence, you will feel that shift too. You will notice things aligning with greater ease, a sense of peace accompanying you, a flow to your day. That is not luck, it is not a coincidence, it is karma responding in real time. That is the new energy of today, July 2nd. This is why self-awareness is no longer a luxury for the spiritual elite. It is now a requirement for sane living. Because every thought, every emotion, and every word you utter now carries an immediate and tangible weight. You are co-creating your reality with unprecedented speed. If you remain unconscious, you will suffer at the hands of your own creations. If you are awake, you will be empowered by them. This is the great divergence. Before July 2nd, you could hide from your true intentions. You could mask your motives. You could offer a fake smile and get away with it. Now, the energy behind the smile is what matters, not the smile itself. People will feel your truth, and so will the universe. You might have already sensed this. You say something to a friend, and they react with unusual intensity. Why? Because the frequency you are broadcasting is stronger and is being received without delay. This is the new vibration, and it began today, July 2nd. What does this mean for you? It means there is no more room for pretending. There is no more space for self-deception. You can no longer plant seeds of discord and expect to harvest a garden of peace. The feedback loop between cause and effect is now too short. You no longer need a guru to show you your reflection. Life itself is holding up a flawless mirror. If you feel tension today, ask yourself, what energy am I holding? What frequency am I broadcasting into the world? Because that is precisely what is coming back to you. And if you feel a sense of peace, acknowledge it. Protect it. You created it. And that is a clear sign of your alignment with this new energy. July 2nd marks the beginning of a new, deeper kind of responsibility. Not just for your actions, but for your inner state. You can no longer afford the indulgence of unconsciousness. You can no longer be careless with your energy. The mirror is too sharp. Every thought creates an echo. Every emotion has a trajectory. You must become a vigilant guardian of your inner world. But do not be afraid. This acceleration is a profound gift. It means transformation is faster, healing is faster, growth is faster. If you are committed, if you are awake, this era will feel like a tremendous blessing. What once took years of therapy can now be resolved in days of focused awareness. But if you continue to blame, to react, to resist, then yes, life will feel heavy and difficult because you are fighting your own reflection. Today, July 2nd, offers a chance to reset, to see what your energy is actually doing in the world. No more hiding, no more waiting, just look. The results of your inner state are on full display. If you desire a different outcome, you must change the input. Purify your intention. Slow down your reactions. Watch your thoughts. Do not waste energy trying to change others. They are grappling with their own instant karma. This is not about control, it is about alignment. If something in your life feels wrong, step back, reflect, adjust your inner frequency. Life is not punishing you. It is showing you. This is the gift of today. This is the wisdom of July 2nd. Karma is no longer a distant philosophical concept. It is your immediate moment-to-moment reality, and it is giving you real-time feedback on the person you are becoming. Use this feedback. Don't fear it. Don't run from it, align with it. And everything in your life will begin to shift. Today is July 2nd, and karma is speaking more loudly and clearly than ever before. Are you listening? Today is July 2nd, and on this day so many are still waiting for a savior, a teacher, a master, a new leader, a better political system, a perfect world. But the unvarnished truth is this: no one is coming. No one is going to rescue you from the labyrinth of your own mind. The era of waiting is over. The time for seeking answers outside of yourself has ended. The answer was always and will always be within. And the energy of this day is forcing you, finally, to look there. The only viable path forward now is the path inward. July 2nd has made that painfully, beautifully clear. The noise of the world will only intensify. Distractions will multiply, information will overload you, but truth will not be found in more, it will only be found in less noise, less talking, less chasing. The only real salvation now is your own inner work. Call it meditation, self-reflection, breathwork, or silence. The label is irrelevant. What matters is the practice. Daily, consistent, honest practice. This is no longer a spiritual hobby. It is a tool for survival, not physical survival, but mental, emotional, and spiritual survival. If you are not cultivating inner stillness in these times, you are being slowly, surely, swept away by the chaos. July 2nd did not arrive to scare you, it arrived to shake you, to wake you up to this fundamental truth. The outer world in many ways is fracturing. Systems are failing, people are anxious, emotions are volatile. But the one who is anchored within themselves will not be capsized. That kind of stability doesn't come from the news, from governments, or from gurus. It comes from inside, and you cannot buy it, you cannot borrow it, you must build it, brick by brick, breath by breath. Look at yourself with unflinching honesty. Today, July 2nd, is a mirror. It is showing you all the places where you are still dependent on the external world to make you feel safe, to make you feel worthy, to make you feel whole. And the more you depend on the outside, the more you will suffer. Because the outside world is by its very nature unstable. It always has been. Peace was never meant to be found out there. Peace is a decision you make inside, over and over again. When the world gets loud, you must choose to become quiet. When people are reactive, you must choose to remain still. When the future is uncertain, you must choose to return to this present moment. This is the inner path, and it is the only path that will lead to sanity moving forward. Not because some prophet said so, but because life itself is demonstrating it to you now. Clearly, on July 2nd, you are not being punished. You are being reminded that the center of your universe must be your own awareness, not your job, not your phone, not your public image. Your awareness, that calm, silent, watching part of you, is your only true anchor, and the stronger your connection to it, the less the storms of the world can pull you from your center. People will ask, what should I do today? What should I fix? Where should I go? But all of that is secondary. The first and most critical step is to go within, to sit, to breathe, to observe, and to do it again tomorrow and the day after until it is no longer a chore, but your natural way of being. You will not find salvation in overthinking. You will not find clarity in complaining. You will not find the answers by running from yourself. July 2nd is showing you that you must stop. Stop running, stop talking, stop reaching outside for what can only be found inside. Even as the world grows more chaotic, you can become more calm. That is your superpower. That is your ultimate responsibility. But it doesn't happen by chance. It happens through discipline, through repetition, through the choice to return again and again to stillness, especially when you don't feel like it. You will have difficult days, days when your mind refuses to settle, when emotions are screaming, when your body is restless. Those are the most important days to practice, because peace is not proven when life is easy, it is forged when life is hard and you still choose to find your center. July 2nd is an invitation, a reminder, a cosmic signal. The world will offer you 1,000 different paths, but only one leads to genuine freedom. The inner path, the path of honesty, of observation, of alignment. This path is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is quiet, and for that reason most will ignore it. But those who walk it will discover something priceless, a peace that cannot be shaken, a clarity that cannot be confused, and a strength that cannot be taken away. And so today, do not ask who is coming to save you. Ask yourself how deeply you are willing to save yourself from your own distractions, your own illusions, your own fears. Everything you could ever need is already inside you, but you must become quiet enough to access it. You must become still enough to hear it. And July 2nd is the perfect day to begin, because today the energy supports this inward shift. The noise of the world is rising, but so is the opportunity to rise above it from within. So sit, breathe, practice. Let this day be the beginning of your real journey. Not the path of reaction, but the path of mastery. Not the path of escape, but the path of presence. No one is coming because no one needs to. You are already here. Today is July 2nd, and this day is not just another tick on the calendar. It is a final reminder, a soft but urgent signal that time is running out. For years, many have heard the call to wake up, but they put it on snooze. They were too busy, too distracted, too afraid to truly face themselves. But now the alarm can no longer be ignored. The door to a higher consciousness is still open, but it is no longer wide. It has become a narrow gate and it is beginning to close. On July 2nd, the universe is offering a final moment of grace, a potent opportunity to shift, to realign. But this is not an invitation you can RSVP to later. This is not something you can say, I'll start tomorrow to, because the energy has already shifted. The opportunity is here, now, and every moment you hesitate makes it harder to respond. Many operate under the illusion that they have infinite time, that they can continue their old habits, their unconscious patterns, and deal with their spiritual growth later. But July 2nd has revealed an uncomfortable truth later, maybe an illusion. The only time to act is now, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, when you ignore these inner signals, you start to feel heavy. You feel a baseline anxiety with no apparent cause. You feel restless, confused, and disconnected. This is not random. This is your inner guidance system screaming that you are out of alignment. And on a day like July 2nd, that misalignment becomes painfully obvious because the ambient energy is too powerful. It is pulling you toward truth. If you flow with it, you find clarity. If you resist it, you find pain. The reason the door is closing is not rooted in fear or punishment. It is simply a law of nature. Truth always moves forward. It flows like a great river. If you do not step into the current now, you will be left on the bank, waiting for the next one. And that next cycle may not be so gentle, because the longer you ignore the quiet call, the louder it must become. And sometimes that louder call manifests as crisis, as breakdown, as chaos, anything to get your attention. But today, July 2nd, is not about crisis, it is about opportunity. It is a day drenched in light, but only if you are willing to face your own shadows. Only if you have the courage to look at what is real within you. Not the persona you project, not the image you curate, not the person you pretend to be, but who you truly are when there is no one left to impress. If you feel a strong resistance today, that is the sign. If you feel emotionally turbulent, raw, or hypersensitive, that is the signal. Your soul is demanding a change in direction. You can either listen or continue to ignore it. But the choice you make today carries immense weight. Small decisions, repeated, create destinies. One more step in the direction of avoidance reinforces the habit. One step in the direction of presence forges a new path. July 2nd is offering you that path. A quiet, clear, honest path. It does not promise comfort, it promises growth. It does not promise ease, it promises depth. But you must walk it. No one can carry you. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's not about fixing your entire life overnight. It is simply about showing up. It is about pausing, reflecting, and declaring to yourself, I have been asleep, but right now I choose to wake up. That single moment of decision is the key to the gate. That spark of awareness is the opening. You still have time, but not much. The longer you delay, the more powerfully the world will pull you back into its matrix of distraction, reaction, and unconsciousness. And the realm of the unconscious is a treacherous place to be now, because the new energy is sharp. It does not support avoidance. It does not reward spiritual laziness. It magnifies what you have, not what you pretend to be. So be honest with yourself. Are you listening? Are you present? Or are you still manufacturing excuses? On July 2nd, the time for excuses has expired. The time for pretending you didn't hear the call is over. The call is here, loud and clear in the silence. It is not coming from the sky. It is rising from within you, from your body, from your breath, from your intuition, all asking the same question: are you ready? There will be those who scoff at this, who dismiss it as fantasy or drama. Let them talk. Let them sleep. But you, if you are still reading this, it's because a part of you already knows this is true. You have felt the shift. You have sensed the urgency. You have heard the quiet voice in your own heart whispering, please, don't wait. Do not wait for life to get louder. It will. And when it does, it may not be so kind. Because when you ignore the gentle knock, life eventually comes with a battering ram. If that doesn't work, it kicks the door down. Not to punish you, but to wake you. But you don't have to wait for that. You do not need pain to be your teacher. You can choose presence instead. You can choose reflection. You can choose silence. That is what July 2nd is offering, a peaceful transition, if you are willing to accept it. So pause right now. Ask yourself, what am I still clinging to that I know I must release? What am I still avoiding that I know I must face? What truth have I buried that is now demanding to be seen? These are not comfortable questions, but they are the necessary ones. Because once the gate closes, it becomes much harder to find it again. Not impossible, just harder, and you deserve ease, you deserve alignment, you deserve clarity. But you must act now. July 2nd is today, and today is the day to come home to yourself. The window is open, but not for long. Step through it. Not with fear, but with presence. Not with panic, but with purpose. Because the truth is, this is your moment.